Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica and this is Unite Inside. And we help people unite with all the parts inside of them. In this video, I am making this video for a very specific reason. It's for people that experience a lot of powerlessness in their lives, that feel a lot of powerlessness. Let's talk about people that the base of their vibration is powerlessness. And you could be one of them. Is the fact that you would go on all your life feeling sometimes that you are powerless. Or maybe this is something that always comes up for you, where you feel you find yourself in situations where you feel powerless. So I want to help you out in this video to basically own your power and to realize that you are powerful. Each person of us has power, and we all have the same power, which is to be creators, to create our own reality. We all have the same influence over our reality, okay? And everybody else is the same when it comes to this power. But a lot of us think that we are either less powerful than other people, or that other people are more powerful than us, or that we are more powerful than other people. And so either we're superior or inferior. But I'm here to tell you that there is no such thing. You have the same powers that everybody else has. Okay? And what makes you powerful as a being is the fact that you influence your reality and the fact that you create your reality. And a lot of us is either that we don't know how to become aware enough in our own mind of our own beliefs, enough to stop ourselves from experiencing an unwanted experience, or not that we should always blame ourselves for whether we're having an experience that's unwanted, because even though we're gonna become more aware, a lot of times we still have a subconscious mind, which means that there's still some percentage that we're not aware of yet, which we can expand our awareness about, but most people, it's actually very deep. It's deeper than we think, most likely. And for that reason, why we might experience experiences that are unwanted that maybe we didn't see coming. It's because it is still in our vibration and it is still in our absolute focus of our subconscious mind. And it could be because we haven't started the work of becoming aware of our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings enough to realize that there is something that we're not taking responsibility for. Or it could be that we're doing that, but still something manifested because we still have it in our vibration. And you shouldn't blame yourself if you are in this situation. But with that being said, I want to tell you that sometimes, even if you have been doing work, like inner work, shadow work, you can still find yourself in shitty situations, unfortunately. And a lot of people will wonder why. I've been doing the work, I've been becoming aware of my thoughts, and I've been healing, blah, blah, blah. But I am still in a painful relationship or in a painful situation. Or I still find myself manifesting people that hurt me, or people that don't respect me. Or maybe I still manifest painful relationships with people that abuse me, just like what happened in my childhood, for example, even after I've been doing the work. Because it's just because you are still becoming more and more aware. And some things happen and come into your awareness by experiencing a certain relationship. Or when you are in a certain situation, then you are able to see better, or you are able to become more aware in a way. And at the same time, if you struggle with feeling as though, even though you've been doing the inner work, you've been in this healing journey for maybe 5, 7 years, who knows, maybe even 12 years, but you still manifest an unwanted situation, don't make yourself feel guilty about that, and don't feel out of control, because I want to share this with you, which is a very important realization that I have had in my own experience, which is that when we have, when we came into this world at first, each one of us experienced a certain trauma in their childhood, mostly. And this childhood trauma It could be that they experienced not being loved or being disrespected or being pushed to the side or abandoned. It could also be being stripped off of their power in any, like, people in their reality try to strip them off of their power because they themselves felt powerless. And so they tried to strip you off of your power so that you could feel just as powerless as them. A lot of dynamics can happen, and most relationships are dysfunctional, which means that most of them are not as, there's like a lot of dynamics that goes in the unconsciously, that we don't know, that can hurt us and that can make us feel, that can make us really wounded, that can very much wound us. And what will happen is that for some funny reason, the universe likes to get us in the same situation over and over and over, you know? And sometimes, even after you went through a healing journey or a healing phase, you might line up with the same experience that you experienced in your childhood. The universe might do this because maybe it is required for your healing. You need this so that you can see things that you haven't seen before. When we isolate ourselves and we go through isolation and hermit mode, when we're going through our healing phase, a lot of us that went through like an ego death or a spiritual awakening, which is an ego death, apparently. But when we go through that, a lot of times we're by ourselves and there is no one to trigger us. Or we're just by ourselves resting and relaxing and letting go and releasing the trauma. And sometimes after that, someone could go through a really painful relationship or a really painful situation that is very similar to the situation that we went through when we were kids. And then it could feel like twisted because I've been healing, I've been doing all of this, and now the universe, this is how the universe rewards me, is by getting me into another horrible situation. Or maybe you could be by yourself and very powerful and feeling amazing, and maybe you got back your self-worth, and then for some funny reason you meet someone and then you find yourself in the same situation. You find yourself going through not feeling worthy, being put down, being lied to, or whatever it is, and then all these new patterns that you haven't been looking at because no one was around you to trigger you to actually see them, even though you were healing, they come to the surface and you find out that there is more, that there is deeper stuff, there is more attachment issues, there is more abandonment issues, there is more pain or maybe like patterns that you have in yourself. And so when you realize that, it could be after you've been trying to like raise awareness or to try, you could feel as though you are in this situation where everything is perfect and then your world crashed again and you're back at square one and you might feel embarrassed or completely you're just like, unbelievable, I can't believe that I'm going through this situation again. But I want to tell you that if you find yourself in a situation like this, and you know that you've experienced this a lot in your life, maybe in your past life, not your past life, but maybe in your, before your healing journey, or like before you became aware, maybe you've experienced this pattern of being bullied or being put down or being scapegoated, whatever it is, and then you find yourself in that pattern again. Understand that it's the universal way of teaching you that there is more levels that you have to unlock. There is patterns in you that are still there, even though after all the healing that you did. That doesn't mean, because healing is very deep, there's layers and layers, and you can't expect that your healing journey is just going to be something that you go through for like 3 years and then it's going to be done. That's because you've been through trauma for your whole life. Maybe you've been through trauma since you were 2, and you've experienced that trauma all the way to adulthood, and then once you maybe became 30 or whatever, you started having all these insights and realizing that you should heal yourself and starting your healing journey. But you cannot expect yourself to literally like heal in like 2 years or 3 years. You're gonna have to keep healing, and it's not, it doesn't really change, like it doesn't really end. And you have to be comfortable with the fact that your healing journey is not going to end. It's going to keep coming. Things are going to keep coming because we have to heal generational curses, like generations and generations of trauma. We're not just healing in this timeline. Like, we're not just healing what happened in our childhood. This stuff is in our blood and DNA. We're literally refreshing our DNA. So how do you expect that you're just gonna um, be okay, or you're just gonna like heal in 2 years and everything will be fine? Sometimes you might even expect that you'll heal in 6 months. But no, but does that mean that you won't get better? That's not true. You will get better. You will become stronger. You will feel more powerful. You will experience happiness. You will experience the opposite of what you experienced in your childhood. You will manifest what you want. But if you do find yourself in a situation like this where you are hitting the wall again, where you're like, oh my God, I feel stuck, I want to tell you why. It's because a lot of times, unfortunately, if we have a certain trauma, you have to know that at some point, and you have to know that everything in you, like, even though you're healing, you're still healing, you're trying to reverse this trauma, and that is true. I want to tell you that because there's a lot of things that are influencing it, your blood, a lot of other things, like your family line, maybe you have this trauma deep in your generation, in your ancestors and stuff. Like, if you have, for example, low self-esteem as a curse that your like generational line have been going through, it can be very deep that you could literally be more likely. It's almost like it makes you more likely to follow the same patterns over and over. If you're not really aware, you could go back to square one at any point, because it makes you weak. It's almost like as soon as you have that thing, it's almost like a disease. Imagine if, like, you heard of that, like people that have the cancer can have it again and again and again, unfortunately, until they work deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, I'm not saying that you will not be able to get out of this, or that, oh, you're doomed for this, like you're just gonna be suffering from this curse for the rest of your life. No, because chances are you've already experienced what you actually desire. You've already experienced feeling confident, feeling good, stuff like that, because you're already working on yourself and you are in this path. Okay? And so that doesn't mean that, oh, just because of that, just because of the fact that it's in my DNA, blah, 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 that means I'm more likely to suffer from this for the rest of my life. That's not true. But what it means is there is some deep, deep limiting beliefs that you still hold on to. That in your deep subconscious mind, you still hold on to those deep issues, okay? And so with that being said, you have to understand that we have to completely change our foundation, which means our vibrational foundation. If we, when I say completely, and that is not easy. You can't just completely change your baseline of vibration, especially after freaking years of your vibration being low, your vibration being powerlessness, your vibration being, lack of self-love or lack of self-worth, or whatever it is. And so if you do find yourself in a situation like this, even though you're still healing, you don't have to feel like, oh my God, my world is falling apart. I'm never going to experience what I actually deserve. Because what happened, most likely what happened is that you've experienced a situation that's similar to your childhood situation, which triggered those parts of you that were still holding on somehow in that situation, which made you start the pattern again that you did when you were a kid with your parents. Whether it's people pleasing, whether it's narcissism. Like, narcissism can also be a coping mechanism that we do when we feel unsafe. And something happened, something activated your nervous system, and you felt as though you needed to, protect yourself from the situation. And so you started going down that path because that situation was so intense that it reminded you of your childhood situation. It doesn't just remind you, it reminds your nervous system, it reminds your subconscious mind, it reminds your body, your whole being gets reminded of a certain situation. and they start to activate the same limiting beliefs, the same ways of being. Maybe you start to hide again, you start to feel ashamed of yourself again, not completely, but you start to get triggered again. And maybe when that happens, there is some limiting beliefs that comes up that make you stay in a situation like that, or make you keep feeding that same vibration. So basically what happened is that you started feeding into this vibration that you are actually trying to let go of and heal, but something triggered your nervous system to feed into it again. Because deep down, maybe there's still parts of you that feel as though you're not worthy. Maybe there's still parts of you that feel as though you're not respected. Or maybe there's still parts of you that feel scapegoated. You know? Coded, whatever it is. But yeah, it's almost like scapegoated. But yeah. So it's almost like every time and it doesn't have to happen all the time. Like, you can become aware. But what you have to do in this moment, when you are experiencing another situation that you've been trying to run away from your whole life, but you find yourself stuck in it again. And what happened is that whenever you activate like that part of you that's been clinging into the situation when you were a kid or something like that, what happens is that that vibration was so strong in you. You have to know that was momentum. That was a vibration, a momentum vibration that you offered to the universe for a lot of your life. And so that vibration in you is very active, is the thing. And so once you are in a situation that's similar, and then that situation activates those vibrations in you, you're more likely to get stuck again. It's because you're more likely to activate a vibration that's already strong in you, that's already more strong than the new vibration that the new momentum that you're trying to create. Like, you're trying to create a momentum of being respected, being loved, being cherished by other people, or maybe experiencing the opposite of the abuse that you experienced as a kid. But unfortunately, you're still building this vibration. And so because you're still building it, sometimes that other vibration might activate. The opposite of what you want might activate, because that is a stronger vibration. Does that mean that, oh my God, just because it was a stronger vibration, that means I'm doomed to experience the situation over and over again? No, you're not doomed to experience it over and over again, but it is a strong vibration. And sometimes because you activate it, your whole body might want to go more in that stream. It's almost like, but you can stop it. And yes, there is ways, which I will share with you very soon, of actually gaining your power back whenever you get in a situation like this, which a lot of people will get in a situation like this. Not all the time, but most people. And I want to tell you this because it really makes people very scared and very depressed, because it's almost like I've healed, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to do this, but I'm still in the situation. It's almost like a shock to the body and to the nervous system. But I want to tell you that you do not have to go through the situation. You really don't. Because I want to share with you how to get out of it. So like I was sharing, is that you have the vibration of your lack, the vibration of the lack of what you want, maybe the lack of abundance, the lack of love, the lack of respect, the lack of support is more intense in your vibration. The more you focus on it, the more you activate it. And especially because it has already been activated your whole life, it's easy to go in that direction. It's almost like, look at it as though there is like a river. A river goes in one direction, and it's almost like a stream of energy. And then that river, imagine if you sit in that river. If you sit in that river, it's going to take you where you are. It's almost like a stream. And if you want to stop it, if you want to if you want to not go that direction, you have to get up and stop being in that river, right? Like, if you want the river to stop taking you where it's taking you, you have to get out of it and just not be in it. And that explains that it's so similar to activating a certain vibration in you that you've been activating for your whole life. Like, for example, the vibration of always being the victim, or always being abused, or whatever it is. That vibration is so strong that if you activate it, if you just sit in it, it's almost like sitting in that river. It's going to take you to that bad place. And you're going to find yourself in the same horrible situation. And that really sucks. I don't want no one in this world to experience that. And for that reason why I am making this video. I'm saying that sometimes, like, me by saying this, I don't mean that you should avoid unwanted situations, because sometimes unwanted situations are very crucial to our healing journey, to our growth. Sometimes we need to be in that situation again, actually, to see reality differently, to choose different things. Like this time to set boundaries, this time to prioritize ourselves, this time to not let other people use us, this time to pick a different like a different direction. Whatever it is, like we need to be in the same situations sometimes. And so don't, just because you're having an unwanted situation, it doesn't mean that it is like a bad situation or that you shouldn't be in it. Sometimes you should be in it. And a lot of times, whenever we are out of abuse or out of situations that make us feel uncomfortable, we feel as though it's almost like we develop a resistance to them. That's because we're still not healed yet. Not saying that you shouldn't develop resistance to being abused. Of course, you should be like, no, I don't want to be. But sometimes there's still fears in us that sometimes manifest. And I'm so sorry if that happened to you and you manifested this. So I want to help you right now. I'm going to share with you something that you should do if you go through a situation like this. And that will literally help you. So I'm going to share 2 words with you that will be so powerful that you need to do whenever you find yourself in the situation, okay? A powerless situation again, after maybe being happy or being healed or whatever, healing yourself and stuff. You find yourself in a horrible situation. First thing you're going to do is, which is the most important one, is it's called reuse. What do I mean with that? Reuse. Reuse. Reuse what? So I'm going to explain to you. Whenever we hit a point in our lives where we are experiencing the same misery that we've experienced before, and that activates our nervous system, that activates those momentums that we've been avoiding or not activating, what happens in that moment is that we stop using the vibration that we've been doing when we were in a healing journey, when we were rebuilding our foundation. We stop using those beliefs, those empowering beliefs. We stop using that good vibration. We go from believing that we're powerful, everything's good, to completely feeling depressed and crumbled. Everything is like, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you are having a hard time, I'm not judging you. You should never feel as though you are pressured to always feel perfect. But I'm just explaining to you what happened is that you stopped using those perfect beliefs. Instead, you started using beliefs that you used to use when you were in your childhood. Like it basically triggers, it's actually normal. It triggers your subconscious mind and it triggers your being, and you start to feel as though, well, it's another sign that I'm not loved. It's another sign that I will never have wealth. It's another sign, because that's exactly what you've been experiencing for your whole life, to the point that you started to believe in it. And even though you stopped believing it for a while because you were healing and you were starting to become more empowered, that vibration is still not steady yet, because you have to constantly use those new beliefs, like I'm powerful, and feelings too. Like whenever you have a belief, it has like a feeling to it. It has like a vibration. You have to activate it, a state of being, of feeling powerful, being powerful. And that is the state of being that will take you out of it. The more you focus on that state of being, that I am powerful, feel that you're powerful, having faith in yourself, reusing all those beliefs that you used to use before. So maybe make a list of this. Literally go home and have a paper and a pen, and then ask yourself what beliefs that I am supposed to be using in the situation that I used before, when I was okay, when everything was great for me. That's the foundation that you have to rebuild, because you can't let that river of misery take you with it. You have to get out of it, which means take a step back, breathe in, just breathe in, and then decide, I'm not going to go with this stream again. Because if you go down that path and you go and you give it your power, which means you give those limiting beliefs power. Like, oh my God, I'm powerless, or oh my God, no one loves me, or oh my God, I have no power. No, don't say that. In that moment, say, okay, this is just that old vibration being activated again in me. That's why I feel so strongly. That's why it hurts. But now I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to write down, what are the new beliefs that I want to believe in right now? Like, I want to believe I'm powerful. I want to believe that I am the creator of my reality. I want to believe that I deserve love. I want to believe that the universe is on my side. I want to believe that everything in this universe is looking out for me. I want to believe that I am safe, that everything happens for a reason, that my life is good, that my life is, that there's a beautiful reason why I'm here. Like, write down all these beliefs that you have been believing in or trying to create. It's almost like a new momentum that you've started creating, but then at some point you got triggered again and you went down the other way. But remember those, and then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to give your full focus to that new belief system, and you have to do it over and over. I don't care if you have to work hard for this. If you want your life to be good, work hard to change your subconscious mind. I don't care what you have to do. Get up in the morning, take a deep breath in, do intense inner work, sit with those feelings that don't feel, that feel like the old vibration or whatever. Breathe through it, let it go. And then do visualizations, feel that you're powerful, recreate that belief, like recreate that new belief, that good belief about yourself. And then you have to move away from that other type of unhealthy momentum that you've been creating in the past. You have to move away from it. It's almost like if you want to move away from it, all you have to do is to start giving more attention to the new belief until you believe it again. Even though it's devastating, you might feel very sad, you might feel very depressed, but you have to understand, even though you feel very depressed, very sad, it's just because something manifested that you for some funny reason, you fell in this trap of like your old vibration being activated, and that's okay. And because it is so strong, that's why it manifested as a bad situation. I know that situations like this can feel like they're driving you crazy. It's absolutely insane when you're going through a situation like this. But you can breathe in and reuse those beliefs that you used to believe in before. Reuse good beliefs about yourself and recreate good ones, okay? And create a different momentum of feeling love. Maybe you start loving yourself to the point that you feel love from within. You feel warm, you feel supported. Do whatever it takes to reverse that within you. It's all about the way you feel. If you reverse the way you feel from feeling like you're in survival mode, you're trying to defend, just like don't follow any of that momentum stuff. Like if it's hatred, if it's a certain pattern, just step away from it and try to create a different pattern, because you can either repeat the same situation or evolve. And that's what the universe wants you to do, is evolve somehow. Try to learn whatever you need to learn from this situation. Maybe it's boundaries. Maybe it's to not cling to people. Maybe it's to respect yourself more. Whatever it is, try to let that into your heart. Open up your heart and let that lesson sit in your heart so that you can learn that lesson again, because it is the same lesson that the universe wanted you to learn when you were a kid, but you couldn't, and that's okay. But now, for some funny reason, the universe thinks that the best thing to do is to learn this lesson again, because maybe there's parts of you that are still not quite they're still not quite understanding this lesson yet. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We are in this life. We're learning, we're healing, we're growing, we're evolving. There's a lot going on. And if we do find ourselves in a situation like this, don't beat yourself up. Accept the situation. Have compassion for yourself and reverse everything, which means reuse beliefs that are good. The more, I want to tell you this, which is so powerful. The less attention you give the less attention you give the old belief system that you have about yourself, the less attention you give that, and the more attention you give to the new belief system, the more you create a new vibration that can be more strong, more powerful, a new momentum. That momentum is going to be so powerful that it's going to just take you where you want to go. It's going to take you to the best relationship ever. It's going to take you to so much money. It's going to take you, because that's what we're trying to do. Momentum is so powerful because it literally creates your reality. When you have a lot of momentum of bad things, of lack, that's how you start to see physical manifestations of what you don't want. And that is not good. Okay? So create this new momentum and recreate those beliefs. Like literally, I want you to do this consciously. Whenever you're going through something instead of feeding into the part of you that wants to say, I'm powerless, I'm unloved, say, no, I'm not powerless, I'm not unloved. In fact, I'm very loved by the universe. The universe always loves me. I know that for a fact. I went through an awakening. I understand everything. I know that I am loved, even though I've lined up with this painful situation. That's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to learn to understand, um, I'm gonna learn from the situation. I'm gonna recreate this new momentum to the point that it's so powerful. It's even more powerful than the old one. And that is true. You can do this. The more you pay more attention to the new good belief system, the more you entertain those beliefs more. Maybe talk to people. You have more power now than you used to when you were a kid. So maybe whatever you can do to literally shift things to the point that from the inside, you start to feel as though you're powerful and supported and and loved, and you can feel better than you used to. And the more you can focus on that new momentum, the more you're going to have that momentum be very powerful, that it will literally take you from that situation to a better situation. You're going to experience a better situation. And I'm really sorry that you're going through this, because it can be very, very stressful. And so I hope that, and so I want to tell you this. You have to, I said 2 words and I didn't say the second word. So reuse, reduce. So you're going to reduce. Reduce. What are you going to reduce? Reduce your focus. Reduce anything that is that old vibration, that old momentum. Reduce your focus, reduce thinking about it, reduce the importance of it in your life. Just make it very small and move away from it, move away from it, move away from it to the point that you literally are zooming out from this momentum. Because that is exactly what you need to do. Because the more that momentum is so small that it doesn't affect your energy, it doesn't affect your focus, it doesn't affect your mind, the more you can the more that momentum is not going to be in your reality. You're not going to experience what you don't like. You're not going to experience unwanted experiences. You're not going to be suffering, because you're no longer giving your attention to that. And which means that that momentum is going to be less and less powerful. It's going to become less and less big and huge, and it's going to become so small that your new vibration is going to be so big that you literally don't even believe that you don't deserve love. You're just like, okay, I deserve love. I know I deserve love. It's just a no-brainer for you. And that's the point that you have to get to, is that you literally reverse everything inside of you. You reduce that bad old system and you let it crumble. And what do you do instead is that you reuse, is that you reuse. I don't know what happened to me, but because you have to reuse those new belief systems that you create and make it a more solid vibration so that this doesn't happen again. And you don't have to be afraid of situations like this, because they are crucial for your healing too. You really need them. Okay, so with this being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I love you so much, and I will hope to see you in the next video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.